What's up, guys, and welcome back. Today I've got a little different type of video for you guys. I'm going to show you guys how to winterize your boats. It's coming to the end of the year. It's getting cold. It's freezing cold out here right now, so I'm going to try and make this video short. Basically what we're going to be doing is going through the process of winterizing this boat. I'm kind of going to do it kind of hands-on. I'm not going to actually winterize it because I do use this year-round, but I thought this video would be pretty informational and something you guys can use if you don't actually keep your boats out all year like I do. So what I'm gonna do is just kind of talk about what you're supposed to do, what's recommended to do, and show you guys how to do it. So let's get started. All right, first things first, guys. Always start with your book. Start with your owner's manual. If you've got one, you're just gonna go into your little glossary here, or what you want to call it, and just look for where it says storage. So right here, storage, starting on page 105. And what it's going to do is this book's just going to tell you for your specific engine, outboard, inboard, whatever you've got, what it thinks is necessary for you to actually properly store your engine and boat. So you can go through that and follow that to a T. If you don't have one, keep watching. If you do have one, you keep watching anyways if you want to just know how to do it. And we're going to go through kind of the, I guess you could say, just the basic things you need to actually do. Just kind of a general idea, nothing engine specific, just a generalization of what you should definitely do if you have a outboard engine. I'm going to be working with this Mercury 4-stroke 60 horse. It's a 2016 model. So relatively new. Some older models, things may vary. Just like I said, check your owner's manual. If you don't have an owner's manual, you can also get online, I'm sure, and just do a Google search and find an owner's manual for your specific engine. So let's get started. Alright guys, so first things first, we're going to talk about where you're actually putting your boat. If you're storing it in the water, if you're leaving it in the water year round, try to at least get your engine up out of the water if you don't have a lift. I mean, just worst case scenario, you've got it in a slip or attached to a dock. Just at least try to get this engine up and out of the water, maybe tilted or something so water doesn't stay in it. Just because you don't want to build up corrosion or have water seep into your lower unit, freeze and then bust. It can cause major damage and destroy your engine. Technically, the best place you can have your boat is in a covered, cool, climate controlled area, like an attached garage to a house or whatever. My boat is actually out here in a detached garage. It's not climate controlled, but it is covered, and I don't have to worry about it getting too crazy into the element. So if you don't have a garage and you're keeping it outside your house or whatever, at least try to cover it. You can go to Walmart and get yourself a tarp. I think they're like 10 or 15 bucks. It's worth it, guys, just to get yourself a tarp and cover it. Keep the water and stuff out of it. Keeps the wood and the floors nice and solid, and just keeps everything from getting damaged. So first things first, just make sure your boat's covered up, and it'll be nice and sparkly for the spring season. Now, what some people do as far as doing the actual winterizing process is they'll make a checklist of things they need to do. So like I said before, you can get in your owner's manual, see what they need to do, write it down, or just keep the book with you, whatever you want to do, and just check it off as you go. If you're brand new to doing winterizing a boat, maybe it might be a good idea to have a buddy with you, family member, whoever, just to kind of help you out, give you an extra hand if you need it, moving batteries and stuff like that. You never know when you need an extra hand. So if you got a buddy that's willing to help you out, call them over, say, hey, I want to winterize the boat. You care to help me out for a few minutes? It won't take long, I promise. So what we're going to talk about fuel first, and what they recommend is to have as little amount of fuel in the tank as possible. That's what my book recommends. That's what I personally recommend. Just take the boat out one last time and run all the gas out of it, bring it home, and whatever gas is left, you kind of have to gauge it and then put a fuel stabilizer in it. What this is going to do is prevent your fuel from actually eating up the fuel lines and that kind of stuff. Really prevents it just from damaging the fuel lines, filters, stuff like that. If you leave fuel in it, maybe you guys have had an old weed eater or something. If you leave gas in it, the lines get all like melted. It's real bad. So you don't want that to happen in your boat. Make sure you put a nice fuel stabilizer in it. It keeps the octane up so you can use it again next year. And just remember to try to get that fuel level as low as possible for storage. So your next step, let me get it real fast. So your next step is going to be running fresh water through your engine. This is like the fresh, clean water, as fresh and clean as you can get. You can get a pair of muffs like these. I think I got these at Walmart for like $8. They do come in handy. It helps you work on your boat while you're not at the lake, so you can start the engine up safely and have water running through it. So if you don't know how these work, guys, it's basically just spring loaded right here. And you hook your water hose up to that end right there. You're gonna take this. Hopefully there's enough light for you guys to see. You're gonna hook your water hose to it and run it up over the intake on your outboard or wherever your intake is. Turn the water on full blast. The water is going to travel through the engine, and for my engine specifically, it's going to come out of this hole. Start the engine up if you want. Just run everything. Just let it run for a few minutes. Maybe not even that. Just let it run for a little bit to get all the old, nasty, gritty, muddy, whatever water you got in there out, and just have nice, like, clean water in there so you don't have nothing nasty sitting in there. If your boat is anything like mine, if your outboard is anything like mine, you'll notice that on the outlet here, your water outlet, it's actually threaded. So what you can do is actually take a water hose and hook to that and back feed it out the bottom. You're gonna want to make sure you're gonna want to make sure your muffs are off of it for this, because the water is literally gonna come backwards out of this engine. I wouldn't do this too long. It's not really recommended by me, at least. I know it's an option, I know it's there, but I feel like if you do this too much, it could potentially maybe harm some stuff. And it's just me being, I don't know, nervous about it, but just don't go crazy with it. Now, there's two different ways you can protect the inside of your engine. And one is like a storage spray or a fogging solution. And basically what that is I believe once your engine's running, you take this spray and you spray it in your intake, and it covers everything in your engine, kind of protects it. Another thing you can do is actually pull your spark plugs out and put just a little bit of oil in there in your actual cylinders, and what that does is protect the cylinders from rust while it's sitting over the winter. Just like I said, go to your owner's manual. Like I said, just go to your owner's manual, see what it recommends you do. Mine says spray or oil, either one. If you look online, a lot of people say just use a fogger spray, or some people just say put oil in it. Some people say don't worry about it. Like me, I don't worry about it because I use my boat year round, but whatever you prefer on that one. So next thing we're going to do is a little more technical. What we're going to do is actually change out our lower unit gear oil. And on most boats, what that means is you got a drain plug under here, and you've got two, well, one's covered up right now, but you've got two holes up at the top. These are your fill holes, or well, not really your fill holes. It's kind of like, it's your full, I guess you could say, holes. So what you're gonna do is take these top two screws out, take this bottom one out, and drain it all the way out. Once it's empty, you're gonna take your pump, and your pump should look a little bit like this. It pumps gear oil into it. This part right here, the yellow part here, threads into the bottom of that engine, and you're gonna make sure you put it in through the bottom. Don't go in through the top. Make sure you guys go in through the bottom. Leave all the screws out. Make sure it goes in through the bottom. So with your pump into the bottom hole, into the drain plug, you're gonna pump oil into it until you see it come out of one of these holes. Once it starts coming out of the one that's coming out of, screw in the screw. Pump again until you see it come out of the other screw hole. Once it's there, screw it in. Unthread your pump from the bottom, put your drain plug in, and you'll be good to go. Another note, make sure you guys don't forget to change the O-rings on the vent screws and the drain plug screw. So going back to the fuel thing, like I said before, I like draining the tank all the way empty. Some people say that you should fill the tank all the way up because it removes room for condensation to build. Again, personal preference. For myself, I recommend just running it out because I don't think condensation is going to build up in my tank. That's just how I feel. Okay, so just a couple more things, guys, and we'll be ready to roll. So first thing we're going to do is I'm going to unattach my mount here for my outboard. Now I'm going to leave this unattached, and what I'm going to do is take my outboard and run it all the way down until it's level. Not all the way down until it stops, just all the way until it's level. Alright, with the dog in the way. So what you're going to keep it like that, and the reason you keep it like that is so that water can't build up inside here, and any water that is in it will actually pour out. So mine's been sitting for a little while, there's no water in it, so it's going to come out. Next thing I want to do is go ahead and grease everything. Just grease everything. Grease the threads on your propeller, all this stuff. Grease your steering rack, like all this grease, all that stuff. Just grease all of it. Yeah, see all these? There's a grease fitting here, all that stuff. Just go ahead and grease every bit of it. Go ahead and grease every bit of it, and make sure it's nice and greased up. This also includes wheels, like your wheel bearings on your trailer. Maybe your winch or your maybe your trailer jack, all that stuff. Just go ahead and winch it. Just go ahead and grease it up. Next thing I'm gonna do, guys, is batteries. Some people say, you know, you can leave the batteries in there. You can put a battery tender on them. You can leave them just whatever and let them roll. I recommend, if you're gonna let it sit for a while, just keep a battery tender on them maybe. And before you do that, if they're a serviceable battery, just pop the tops off, check the fluid level. Make sure you got plenty of water in there, and keep your battery tender on them. The battery tender, what it does is keeps a constant low voltage on there. It'll prevent your battery from actually dying completely out, and it helps batteries that sit for a long time. It really extends the life of your battery. You guys, if you guys are interested in looking for a battery tender, a pump, earmuffs, whatever, I'm gonna link everything in the description below for you guys to check out and get if you want. Last thing, guys, what we're gonna do is take the boat and do a complete pressure wash, clean it up good. You see, I still don't have many water spots here from when we did the water spot removal video, but you know, we've got water spots and stuff like that. You know, this is all preventable, guys, so you can actually just take the boat, spray it off, clean it, wash it, wax it really good. A lot of people say to really just make sure you put a good coat of wax on these boats to prevent them from getting some nasty buildup. And by nasty buildup, I mean literally, water spots and this right here. You can see where I've done a little bit of cleaning. So I cleaned here before my last outing. I didn't clean here. So you can really see the difference in how it looks when you just clean it and leave it clean. As far as a trailer goes, you can, like I said, make sure you grease the wheel bearings, and you can actually park the tires on like an old piece of carpet or something like that. It'll try to help prevent getting flat spots in your tires on your trailer. And it's just a personal preference. You don't really have to, but you want to try to take care of your tires. You don't want to have a blowout, get some dry rot, nothing like that. It's awful. So, like I said, guys, check your book first thing. The book knows best. Make sure you run some fresh water through your engine. You can put a fogger spray or oil in your cylinders, or you can do nothing at all. It's your preference. Make sure you grease everything. You want to make sure everything's good and greased. Change your lower unit oil. Make sure you change that gear oil, guys, because the lower unit will actually absorb water, and you can tell if your gear oil is a different color. Maybe it's a little milky looking, a little brown. Mine is blue, but it will turn brown when it gets water in it. Make sure you drain that oil and replace it as to prevent expansion through freezing. Make sure you guys clean the boat up, wash it, wax it, make it look pretty, son. Make it look pretty. Make sure you guys do a nice fuel stabilizer. The fuel level can be whatever you prefer. Like I said, I prefer low fuel level, so I don't have to put as much stabilizer in it. It's just me. It's just me. Make sure you guys check your batteries. You can take them out and leave them out. You can leave them in the boat. Again, your preference. A lot of people say to take them out, check them, and you can leave them on a tender, and that will keep them alive a little longer. Make sure the boat stays covered. You want to make sure the boat stays covered. You don't want water and nasty stuff building up in it and getting gross. It will ruin the interior of the boat, guys. I promise. It'll ruin your seats, carpet, flooring, everything. So I know, guys, this is a little weird video, really informative and kind of short and to the point. Again, like I said, it's freezing out here. I'm not really trying to stay out here for too long, so I just want to spend a couple minutes out here explaining to you guys how to winterize a boat and how I would go about doing it if I were to actually winterize mine. Again, though, I don't winterize it because I'll use it year-round. Also, don't forget, guys, all the things you would need to winterize your boat, such as the earmuffs, maybe your replacement owner's manuals, stuff like that. I'm going to try and link in the description below. If you want to go down there and check that stuff out, guys, you can just click on it. It'll take you to Amazon, and you can check it out, get it if you want, or you can go to Walmart and get it. It doesn't matter to me. It's just there for your information. So thank you guys for watching so much. I really hope you enjoyed this video. Hopefully it was helpful for you guys who are interested in trying to winterize your boats. I appreciate you guys watching, as always. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you guys on the next one.